Fyodor Dostoevsky, The War Within You. You wake up, and before you check your phone, before your feet even touch the floor, something already stirs beneath the surface, a vague unease, a tension, a question you can't quite answer. Why does it feel like you're carrying something heavy, even on your best days? Hear me now. What you're feeling isn't random. It's not a glitch in your brain. It's not something to numb with coffee, content, or quick fixes. It's your conscience. It's the silent, unbearable pull between what you know and what you do. And this is where Fyodor Dostoevsky enters the room. Not as a saint, not as a guru, but as a man who saw darkness up close. A man who was sentenced to death, pardoned at the last minute, and sent to Siberia. A man who lost children, buried his brother, and clawed his way through gambling addiction and seizures. But more importantly, a man who understood you. Because Dostoevsky didn't just write novels. He mapped the human soul. He wrote you before you even had the words. Part 1. Crime is not always punished, but it's always paid for. Pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Crime and punishment. You felt it. The sting of doing something you knew was wrong. Even if nobody caught you. Even if it was small. Even if you told yourself you had to do it. Dostoevsky teaches you something most self-help books won't say out loud. You can get away with a lot, but you will never be free of yourself. Guilt isn't always loud. Sometimes it simmers in the background like a gas leak, making you dizzy, numbing your joy, making every victory taste like ash. In Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov commits the perfect crime. He justifies it with cold logic. He says to himself, some people are extraordinary. Rules don't apply to them. You've said your version of that before, haven't you? I deserve this. They don't get it. I'll fix it later. It's not hurting anyone. I'm the exception. But the punishment isn't jail. The punishment is what happens inside his mind. The splitting, the paranoia, the soul corrosion. Sound familiar? So what's the takeaway? You don't need to be a saint, but you do need to start telling yourself the truth. That lie you're sitting on, that thing you hope nobody notices, it's already costing you peace, sleep, confidence. Maybe you haven't committed a crime, but are you punishing yourself anyway? Part 2. You are not one person. Man is broad, too broad. I would narrow him down. The brothers Karamazov. Let's talk about the war inside you. You're not one voice. You're a courtroom. You are a cast of characters, arguing, negotiating, accusing, defending. Dostoevsky saw this. In the brothers Karamazov, the brothers represent the fractured psyche of man. Ivan, the cold intellectual. Alyosha, the spiritual soul. Dmitri, the sensual, impulsive beast. And you're all of them. One day, you're Ivan, trying to outthink suffering. The next, you're Dmitri, breaking things just to feel something. And sometimes, you're Alyosha, begging for grace. Dostoevsky doesn't judge you for this. He expects it. He says, of course you're contradictory. Of course you don't always make sense. That's what it means to be human. But here's the challenge. You have to become the witness, not just the actor. You have to see the Ivan in you and not let him freeze your heart. You have to see the Dmitri in you and not let him burn your life down. You have to see the Alyosha in you and choose him more often, because you are not the chaos. You are the one who can name it. Part 3. Suffering is not the enemy. The darker the night, the brighter the stars. The deeper the grief, the closer is God. Crime and punishment. You've been told to avoid suffering. Medicate it, distract from it, turn pain into content, turn trauma into a brand. But Dostoevsky says something else. Go in, go through, go deep, because the truth lives there. He's not romanticizing pain. He's not saying suffer to be noble. He's saying dash. Stop trying to escape what is shaping you. In your lowest moments, when you're shattered, humiliated, sick with regret. That's where the seeds are planted. That's where clarity can crack through. The question is, will you use your suffering as a weapon against the world? Or will you let it melt you into something more human? Will you become bitter? Or will you become wise? Because suffering doesn't automatically grow you. It only grows you if you let it speak and you listen. Part 4. God, morality, and the risk of being free. If God does not exist, everything is permitted. The brothers Karamazov. Dostoevsky forces you to wrestle with the big ones: God, morality, freedom. He doesn't hand you a neat answer. He hands you a mirror. He asks, what do you do when no one's watching? Who are you when there's no threat of punishment? Just the echo of your own values? Even if you don't believe in God, you still need to define your compass, because someone will dash: society, your boss, your pain, your ego. And if you don't choose your values, you'll borrow someone else's and wonder why your life feels fake. The freedom Dostoevsky gives you isn't comfortable. It's terrifying, but it's real. You're free to lie, free to sabotage, free to stay numb. But you're also free to stop, to confess, to love, to choose truth over comfort. Nobody will make you. That's the burden of freedom. Part 5. Redemption is not just for saints. To go wrong in one's own way is better than to go right in someone else's. Crime and punishment. Maybe you've made mistakes. Big ones. The kind you don't tell anyone about. Maybe you've hurt people, ghosted, lied, abandoned, ruined something good. Dostoevsky doesn't pretend it's fine. He doesn't offer cheap forgiveness, but he does say this: redemption is real, but you have to want it. You have to earn it, and it will hurt. In Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov doesn't become good because he's forgiven. He becomes good because he finally accepts the truth of what he did and lets it break him open. That's the only real redemption, not perfection, not being liked again, but honestly transforming. And that path, it's still open, right now. Final reflection. Dostoevsky is not trying to save you. He's trying to wake you up. He's showing you that the most dangerous person is the one who refuses to confront their inner chaos. But you're different. You're listening. You're here. So what now? You don't need to move to a monastery. You don't need to confess to the internet. You don't need to fix it all in a day. But you do need to pause, right here, right now, and ask, what part of me have I been avoiding? What truth do I already know but haven't admitted? What small act of courage can I take today to move toward integrity? Dostoevsky won't hold your hand, but he'll walk with you through the dark. He'll remind you, you are not your worst moment. You are not beyond redemption. You are not too far gone. But you do have to choose.